You should always go to the limit because the closer you get to the limit, the more you learn, whether it's about yourself or the car. I always thought records were there to be broken. The only thing I ever wanted to do was be a racing driver. That's the only thing I ever wanted to be. When you start out in a team, you have to get the teamwork going, and then you get something back. Once something is a passion, the motivation is there. I have always believed that you should never ever give up, and you should always keep fighting, even when there's only a slightest chance. The harder you work, the luckier you get. You win a race, the next race it's a question mark. Are you still the best or not? That's what is funny, but that's what is interesting. And that's what is challenging. I always thought records were there to be broken. You must always strive to be the best, but you must never believe that you are. I've always believed that you should never ever give up, and you should always keep fighting, even when there's only a slightest chance. To be successful in anything, you have to have a passion for it, and that leads to being enthusiastic and demanding. I feel the same way now as I did when I was 12 years old. If I'm in a room with a race car and a driver, I'm excited. It's just another world to me, and I feel like a kid in a candy store. I'm not a complicated person, I'm just focused. You don't always win your battles, but it's good to know you fought. If you make a decision, stick to it. When you're racing, it's life. Anything that happens before or after is just waiting. I always thought records were there to be broken. Life is about passions. Thank you for sharing mine. The technique is there. It's only a question of how far you can push yourself. I don't have to wait for the extremes. I've always been more interested in racing than the result. My whole life I have been doing what I want. I never regret anything. The target is to improve yourself. This year is another opportunity for me to start from scratch and develop something I hope to be proud of. I've always thought records were there to be broken. If I'm going to be beaten, I want it to be by someone better than me. I always thought records were there to be broken. I've always believed that you should never ever give up, and you should always keep fighting even when there's only a slightest chance. I've always tried to stay true to myself and my values. I didn't want to compromise my principles to become successful. I don't drive just to get from A to B. I enjoy feeling the car's reactions, becoming part of it. I feel very proud to have won the same number of titles as him. But in a way, he will always remain the greatest for me. I always thought records were there to be broken. I've always believed that you should never ever give up, and you should always keep fighting even when there's only a slightest chance. When I'm driving, I can't really think about anything else. I don't drive because I'm paid for it. I drive because I love it. When you are a 4-time world champion, you're not thinking about being a 5-time world champion. What I always try to do is to make sure that I give 110% to everything I do. My family is very important to me, and I would do anything to protect them. I have a lot of respect for other drivers, and I always try to treat them fairly on the track. I've always believed that you should never ever give up, and you should always keep fighting even when there's only a slightest chance. Life is about passions. Thank you for sharing mine.